going to do a little brief update, kind of recap of the shooting from last night. Last night around 8:45, the Sheriff's Office Communications Center received several calls in reference to a shooting at the J.S. Johnson Community Center. Patrol officers actually had driven by that park a few minutes before the 911 calls were received, saw that there was a large gathering, what they thought to be an unpermitted party in the park. Turns out that indeed it was an unpermitted party. They had formed a plan, got some additional backups, officers in the area. We're going to go back to the party when the calls came in. So when the calls came in, the officers arrived to find hundreds of partygoers fleeing the area. Since last night, we've actually learned that this was a 21st birthday party for 3 females. These females announced and advertised that birthday party on social media websites. Again, like I said, this was not a permitted party in the park. There was no permit granted or even requested for that party in the park. Obviously, this investigation is still very active. Detectives are pursuing leads that we've been developing since last night. There are believed to be multiple shooters in this case. It seems now that we know it, 11 people have been shot. There were 2 pregnant women that were shot, one of which was at 29 weeks, and her unborn male child was killed as a result of the shooting. There were 11 victims total, including the unborn child, and the breakdown of the victims are this. There's 6 black female adults that were shot, 3 black male adults that were shot, 1 black female 18-month-old child that was shot. That child is still in the hospital and still in critical condition, fighting for her life at this time. All but 1 male has been released from the hospital, and that male is in stable condition and still in the hospital. JSO responded with all of our resources in this case. Detectives from the homicide unit and the Ag Battery unit responded last night to the scene, as well as the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office has a state-of-the-art crime analysis unit. An analyst from our crime analysis unit responded and worked on this case as well. This is a highly trained crime analyst who has the ability to mine whatever data is out there. Again, I had mentioned before, this was an advertised party on a social media website. Our ability to gain information from the social media websites, as well as other data sources that are available in-house to us, it's critical when this kind of party comes together, when this kind of case comes together. Again, there was over 100+ people at this party. You know, today, in today's date and time, the social media in cases like this, crime analysis is an integral part of the investigation. Unlike days of past, you know, people will post and tweet about not only these things before they happen, but especially after they occur. We monitor the public areas of those sites for information, and again, in this case, that we're doing that very thing. Our folks really work to stay on top of the stuff that's coming out as it's coming out. Again, as in days past, you know, it's just a different world, different kind of investigation that we have to do, and we have the men and women capable of doing that. In this particular case, we are doing just that, monitoring these information as they're coming out. This case is really an example to kind of put that there in the forefront, how important that information is to us. You know, homicide investigations are so much more technical today than they used to be, and we utilize every resource that we have to do that. Like I said, there was 100+ people at least at this party last night. It's safe to say, who knows what that number could have been. We've interviewed 40+ people that have come forward that remained for us to talk to. That leaves a whole lot of people that we need to talk to. Again, we have a case here that we have young victims. We have a woman who lost her child before it was even born, an 18-month-old that's fighting for her life now. This is the kind of case that needs the public's cooperation. Again, there's a whole lot of people who were out at this party last night who saw what happened, who saw these multiple shooters. This is something that when these groups get together, they know who all's there. They recognize their friends. They recognize acquaintances, people they know. That's what we need to have the information on. I need to know who was a shooter in this case, and I need somebody who saw that to come forward and tell us exactly who that person was. There are numerous ways that you can do that. You can do that anonymously through the Crime Stoppers, 1-866-845-TIPS. That's 866-845-8477. You can call the Sheriff's Office directly at 630-0500. We want that information. Somebody saw that. Somebody needs to have a soft spot in their heart for the 18-month-old victim in this case, for the young lady who lost her unborn child, and for the other victims in this case who were out celebrating a birthday party and have been shot as a result of this. The sheriff was on scene last night and mentioned that we are not going to tolerate this kind of violence. We're putting forth every resource that we have forward to solve this case. Part of the resources that we're putting out there is a community involvement piece, and we need that help. I can answer a few questions around
I talked to some people earlier out in the neighborhood. One lady said that she's complained countless times to the police department about illegal parties in the park. She said this is the culmination of it. In response to that, have there been other complaints regarding illegal parties in that particular park or in that area?
Yeah, we're learning, obviously, when this kind of event happens at a park like that, you kind of reflect back on what has and what hasn't happened there. That's certainly something that, from the patrol aspect, that they're looking at. The officers, like I said before, they actually came by that park, saw a large gathering, and were formulating a plan to disperse the people. I won't say we have large problems with that, but when we do, from a patrol aspect, see that there's large gatherings like that, and if they're not permitted and don't have a reason to be there, we will disperse them. So that's something that A, that we've looked into, and B, that we'll continue to look into.
Is the unborn child considered a murder victim?
There is some technicality with that. Over a certain number of weeks of gestation, that child actually does become a murder victim. We're looking at now how that's actually going to reflect in our numbers from the accounting standpoint.
That's why you said 11 shot, but only listed 10.
Correct.
There.
Correct. So there is some that we're kind of working through some of that now. But that being just a clerical aspect of it, I can tell you that from the investigative aspect of it, everything that we can do to find the person that took that young child's life is going to be done.
Is there any suspect information today?
2 black males. Unfortunately, that's about all that I have.
Could there be more than 2?
Again, you got hundreds of plus people out there. I've only interviewed 40 or so of them. So that leaves a whole lot of people who've seen something, haven't come forward. So I hate to say it, but anything's possible when it comes to that. Somebody's seen something.
And we're hearing that this might be related to that missing couple, Jeanette Hawkins and Ricky Morgan. Any connection there?
No, that, where this park is in some proximity to where those 2 bodies were found last week. We've not found any nexus or connection to those couple.
Where exactly in the park did this happen? Was it in the playground area or?
There's a band shell, kind of a covered area in the park. That was where there was a DJ set up, so it's in and around that open area that's out there in the park.
Was there any indication that the people shot were shot at random, or were they targeted?
With the people that we've talked to, that's kind of what we're trying to determine now. You've got a whole lot of people shot in different places throughout where they claim they were in the park at the time. Makes me think it could be random, but again, it's a very fluid investigation. Until I really have a chance to talk to the right number of people who've seen the right things, I won't know the answer to that.
How common is it for you to see, though, pregnant women and children shot at? I mean, that seems like a more rare occurrence, does it not?
It seems more rare. Again, it sort of brings up, and as it should, the ire of the community. Somebody should see that and think that's not right. Again, one murder is one murder too many. One person shot too many. But when you see 2 pregnant women shot like this, an 18-month-old child shot, that should cause the community to want to come forward with the information that they have. We have great community involvement here in Jacksonville. This is just one of those times that I need just a little bit more community involvement to come forward with that information that they have.
Are you the people you're talking to? Are you finding people are cooperating with you and coming forward, or are you kind of running into walls where people are not?
No, we've had good cooperation so far, but then again, you've got so many people at this event who fled. That's who we need them to come back forward and say, hey, I was there, I saw this, I saw that. Yes.
Do we know how many shots were fired? Suspects were shooting like at each other across the room, or if they were shooting more towards the crowd. Do we have any idea?
I'm not sure. Again, we're still trying to piece together what's going on. We've been out there since last night. We haven't stopped what we're doing. We're still following up some leads that we developed early this morning to try to get the answers to those questions. But that's what we do.
The other pregnant woman, what's her status this morning?
She was released from the hospital.
She's released. Okay, so both her and the unborn child is fine.
Do we know how many shots were fired?
Not yet. We're still looking into that. I've got evidence technicians back at the scene this morning trying to recover what evidence that could be there that could lead us to know that answer to how many shots were fired.
Any other questions?
I think you said all but one male released from the hospital.
All but one male has been released from the hospital, as well as the 18-month-old.
Oh, who's a girl?
She is a female.
All right.
Thank you all very much for your cooperation.
Thank you, sir.